Well, joining me now from London is Daniel Hough, who's director of the Sussex Centre for Study of Corruption. Thanks a lot for joining us, Mr. Hough. Now, this seems to be really widespread. How big do you think it is?
Well, tennis is just the latest sport of many that has had corruption problems. So I'm afraid it was always a question of when allegations were going to resurface or surface again, and not if. I suspect that there are an awful lot of people around the world who are quite worried about this within the tennis community. As your previous report indicated, an awful lot of tennis players don't earn much money. And the temptation to do relatively small things innocuously and receive a big payday is clearly going to be large. It's also worth remembering, of course, that tennis is an individual sport. It's not like football, where it's very hard to fix the result of a match. It's even quite hard to do anything specific in football without your colleagues being aware. Tennis isn't like that. Tennis is one person making decisions for themselves. So I'm afraid it was always likely that something was going to come up, and there could be an awful lot of people who are very worried about this now.
The report says that many players have been on the radar for quite a few years. They've been under suspicion, but the Tennis Integrity Unit didn't really do anything about it. Why not?
Well, I think that the challenge here is significant. The infrastructure that tennis has, and that many sports have, has improved a lot in recent years. But the problem with global sports, they're often run by people who just have a love for the game. I mean, athletics is a great example. Sebastian Coe, head of the IAAF, doesn't take home a salary. You know, and what CEO would run a company in the world today without taking home a salary? Sports governance has often lagged an awful long way behind where it should be in terms of regulating not just allegations of corruption, but the sport itself. FIFA, another prime example of an old boys club running a multi-billion-pound business. So tennis has only recently tried to catch up. The Tennis Integrity Unit was created in 2008. They've now got plenty of data of betting patterns. We can see that significant sums of money are going on relatively innocuous matches, and one does wonder why. What's the big deal with this game? The trouble with that is it's circumstantial. There's no smoking gun. You've got no way of linking the betting to the performance of the player. You need undercover journalists to carry out sting operations. You need something where the player basically makes a mistake and admits that they have done A because of B. That doesn't happen very frequently.
Well, let's see how this story evolves and transpires. We'll all be watching it very closely. Daniel Hough, thank you very much for joining us.